In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of United States wheat pennies, uncovering 5 of the most valuable and expensive ultra-rare coins that continue to captivate collectors worldwide. These aren't just old pennies, they are prized treasures with powerful history, unique features, and surprising market value. Stay with us as we explore what makes these coins so special and why they remain in such high demand among serious numismatists. First up, we're exploring the most rare and valuable United States wheat penny from the year 1926, without a mint mark stands as a captivating and highly sought-after piece in the world of numismatics, drawing the attention of collectors who appreciate both its subtle rarity and historical depth. At first glance, it may appear like an ordinary copper coin, often overlooked in everyday circulation, but to seasoned enthusiasts, it represents a prized treasure with hidden potential. Its growing demand in today's market, combined with its connection to early 20th century America, makes it a fascinating coin that continues to captivate enthusiasts and inspire collectors to search for high-quality examples. Minted in 1926 at the Philadelphia Mint, as indicated by the absence of a mint mark, this wheat penny belongs to the iconic Lincoln Cent series, first introduced in 1909. This series was groundbreaking, as it marked the first time a real historical figure, President Abraham Lincoln, was featured on a circulating U.S. coin. The 1926 issue reflects a period of economic growth and cultural change in the United States, making it more than just currency. It is a tangible connection to the past. Produced during the Roaring Twenties, this coin circulated at a time when the nation was experiencing rapid industrial expansion and social transformation, embedding it deeply in American history. The design of the 1926 wheat penny is both simple and timeless, contributing significantly to its enduring appeal. On the obverse, the detailed portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, showcases a dignified and realistic representation, accompanied by the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1926. The reverse features 2 elegant wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, symbolizing prosperity and agricultural strength. Composed primarily of 95% copper, with a small mixture of tin and zinc, the coin measures 19 millimeters in diameter and weighs 3.11 grams. In higher grades, the rich reddish luster and sharp details of the design become especially striking, enhancing its visual appeal. While the Philadelphia Mint produced a relatively large number of 1926 wheat pennies, true rarity emerges when focusing on coins preserved in exceptional condition. Most examples found today are heavily worn, scratched, or discolored due to decades of circulation. However, locating a 1926 no-mint mark wheat penny in uncirculated or near-mint condition is a significant challenge. Coins with full wheat lines, strong strike details, and original mint luster are especially scarce, and this scarcity drives strong collector demand. Additionally, subtle varieties such as well-struck examples or coins with minimal contact marks can command considerable attention in the numismatic market. When it comes to market value, the 1926 wheat penny without a mint mark can range widely depending on its condition and overall eye appeal. Lower-grade circulated examples may only carry modest value, but high-grade specimens, particularly those graded mint state, can achieve impressive prices. In today's market, well-preserved examples typically range from around $1,000 to $8,000, depending on factors such as strike quality, luster, and surface preservation. Coins with exceptional visual appeal or certified high grades by reputable grading services often achieve the upper end of this range, reflecting steady appreciation driven by collector interest and limited availability. For collectors aiming to acquire this coin, careful evaluation and strategic purchasing are essential. Prioritizing certified coins graded by professional services ensures authenticity and accurate condition assessment. It is also important to inspect details such as the sharpness of Lincoln's portrait and the clarity of the wheat stalks on the reverse. Purchasing from reputable dealers or established auction platforms can help avoid counterfeits or overgraded pieces. Proper storage is equally critical. Using protective holders and minimizing handling will preserve the coin's condition and long-term value. Engaging with coin collecting communities and staying informed about market trends can also provide valuable insights when making acquisition decisions. The most valuable and expensive United States ultra-rare, the 1926 wheat penny, without a mint mark, represents a remarkable blend of history, artistry, and rarity, making it a truly prized collectible in the world of numismatics. Its connection to a transformative era in American history, combined with its elegant design and the challenge of finding high-grade examples, ensures its lasting appeal. For collectors and enthusiasts alike, it stands as more than just a coin. It is a meaningful piece of the past and a rewarding addition to any collection. With its steady value and enduring demand, this wheat penny continues to hold its place as a cherished treasure among numismatists worldwide. And secondly, we're diving deep into one of the most overlooked yet surprisingly valuable pieces in American coin history, the 1939 wheat penny with no mint mark. At first glance, it may look like just another old copper coin, worn down by time and circulation. But as you'll soon discover, this humble penny carries a story, a legacy, and in some cases, a value that can truly surprise collectors. The 1939 wheat penny without a mint mark is a fascinating coin that was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use mint marks during that era. What makes this coin collectible is not just its age, but the subtle variations, condition, rarity, and the historical period it represents. While millions were produced, only a small fraction have survived in higher grades, and even fewer display the kind of eye appeal and preservation that collectors are willing to pay a premium for. This combination of accessibility and hidden rarity makes it a favorite among both beginner collectors and seasoned numismatists. To truly understand the importance of this coin, you have to step back into 1939, a year sitting on the edge of global uncertainty. The United States was just emerging from the Great Depression, and although it had not yet entered World War II, economic recovery was still fragile. Coin production during this time was steady, but not excessive, and pennies were heavily used in everyday transactions. The Philadelphia Mint struck hundreds of millions of these coins, but they were made for circulation, not preservation, which is why high-quality examples today are far more difficult to find than the original mintage might suggest. When it comes to design, the 1939 wheat penny continues the iconic look introduced in 1909. On the obverse, you'll find the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, facing right with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1939 to the right. Without a mint mark beneath the date, you know it was minted in Philadelphia. On the reverse, the classic wheat ears frame the words 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum arching across the top. What collectors pay close attention to are the fine details, the sharpness of Lincoln's hair, the clarity of the wheat stalks, and the original reddish color that indicates minimal oxidation. Despite its large mintage, the real rarity of the 1939 no-mint mark penny lies in its condition. Most of these coins circulated heavily, leading to wear, scratches, and dull surfaces. Finding one in mint state condition, especially with full red luster, is significantly more challenging. Coins graded MS65 or higher are scarce, and those with exceptional strike quality and minimal contact marks are even rarer. Additionally, subtle varieties and errors, such as doubled dies or repunched dates, can dramatically increase the coin's desirability and value. Collector demand for this coin remains steady because it represents a transitional period in American history while still being part of the beloved wheat penny series that ran from 1909 to 1958. Many collectors aim to complete full sets of wheat cents, and the 1939 issue, while not the rarest, becomes difficult to upgrade in higher grades. Its appeal lies in the challenge it presents, finding a truly pristine example among a sea of worn pieces, and that hunt is what keeps collectors engaged and invested. When it comes to market value, the 1939 wheat penny, without a mint mark, can vary widely depending on condition. In heavily circulated grades, you might find examples worth around $1 to $3, making them accessible to almost anyone. However, in extremely fine to about uncirculated condition, values can rise to $10 to $20. Once you step into mint state territory, especially MS63 to MS65, prices can range from $50 to a few $100s. The real standout pieces, those graded MS66 or higher with full red coloration, can reach into the several $100 range or even exceed $1,000 at auction, particularly if they display exceptional eye appeal. For those looking to add this coin to their collection, The key is to focus on quality over quantity. Pay attention to the coin's color. Red examples are more valuable than red-brown or brown ones. Look closely at the surfaces for signs of cleaning, as this can significantly reduce value. Grading is crucial, so learning how to identify where on Lincoln's cheek and the wheat stalks can help you make smarter decisions. You can find these coins in old collections, coin shops, estate sales, and even occasionally in circulation if you're lucky. Patience and a keen eye are your best tools in uncovering a truly valuable example. As collectors continue to study and revisit the 1939 wheat penny without a mint mark, another layer of interest begins to emerge in the form of subtle die characteristics and strike variations that are often overlooked by casual observers. Some examples display slightly stronger strikes on Lincoln's portrait, while others show softness in the wheat ears on the reverse, a result of die wear during extended production runs at the Philadelphia Mint. These small differences may seem insignificant at first, but to experienced collectors, they can add depth and individuality to each coin. In rare cases, minor doubling in lettering or faint die cracks can be spotted under magnification, offering additional appeal and sometimes even boosting the coin's desirability. What truly elevates the long-term appeal of the 1939 no-mint mark wheat penny is its position within a broader collecting strategy, especially for those building high-grade sets or investing in condition rarity. While it may not carry the headline-grabbing rarity of earlier key dates, its challenge lies in finding a flawless specimen that has survived decades without damage, cleaning, or environmental exposure. The 1939 wheat penny without a mint mark stands as a perfect reminder that value isn't always obvious at first glance. It's a coin rooted in history, shaped by a challenging era, and elevated by its condition rarity and collector demand. Whether you're just starting your journey or you've been collecting for years, this coin offers both accessibility and the thrill of discovery. And as we move forward, get ready, because the next coin in this series takes rarity and value to an entirely different level, and you won't want to miss it. And thirdly, the most rare 1932 wheat penny without a mint mark begins at one of the most difficult moments in American history, a time when the country was deep in the grip of the Great Depression. Jobs were scarce, banks were failing, and everyday Americans were holding on to every cent they could find. It was during this harsh economic climate that millions of pennies quietly entered circulation, including the 1932 issue struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which carried no mint mark. At the time, this coin had no special attention, no collector demand, and no reason to stand out. It was simply part of daily life, used in transactions that often represented the difference between getting by and going without. Yet decades later, certain examples of this humble coin would emerge as highly sought-after collectibles, not because of their face value, but because of the rare characteristics that only time and careful observation would reveal. To understand the importance of this coin, it is essential to look at the broader Lincoln Wheat Cent series, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin broke tradition by featuring a real historical figure rather than a symbolic representation. The obverse presents a detailed portrait of Lincoln, while the reverse showcases two stylized wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent. This design remained in use until 1958 and became one of the most recognizable coins in American history. By 1932, the design was already well established, but subtle changes in die preparation, striking quality, and production methods would lead to unexpected variations that collectors now study in great detail. The official mintage of the 1932 Philadelphia wheat penny reached into the tens of millions, a number that would normally suggest a common coin. However, mintage figures alone rarely tell the full story. What truly matters is how many of those coins survived in collectible condition. During the 1930s, coins were not saved in large quantities by the general public, especially during economic hardship. Most were heavily circulated, worn down, and eventually lost or destroyed. As a result, high-quality examples of the 1932 wheat penny are far scarcer than the original mintage suggests, and this gap between production and survival is where true rarity begins to take shape. When examining surviving coins, collectors often notice that many 1932 pennies suffer from weak strikes, uneven detail, and surface abrasions. This is partly due to worn dies and the high-speed production environment of the time. However, among these ordinary pieces, there are exceptional examples with sharper details, stronger luster, and more defined features in Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalks. These better-struck coins command significant attention in the market, especially when combined with original surfaces that have not been altered or cleaned. The difference between an average circulated coin and a well-preserved specimen can be dramatic, both visually and in terms of value. Beyond condition, the real excitement surrounding the 1932 wheat penny lies in its potential for rare varieties and minting errors. While there is no officially recognized large date or small date for this year, specialists have identified minor doubled dies, die cracks, and subtle repunched elements that can significantly increase desirability. These anomalies occur during the die creation process, when the working die receives impressions from a master hub. If the alignment shifts slightly between impressions, a doubled image can appear on the final coin. In other cases, stress fractures in the die can produce raised lines known as die cracks, adding a unique fingerprint to each piece. Minting errors also tell a deeper story about how coins were produced during this era. In the early 20th century, dies were prepared manually and quality control was not as advanced as it is today. Misalignments, incomplete strikes, and off-center errors could occur, especially when machinery was under pressure to meet production demands. These imperfections were not seen as valuable at the time and often went unnoticed. Today, however, collectors actively seek out these unusual characteristics, recognizing them as rare deviations from standard production that can transform an ordinary coin into a standout collectible. Interestingly, some of the most valuable 1932 wheat pennies are not pristine mint-state coins, but rather circulated examples that exhibit rare and visible errors. A scratched or toned coin might appear unattractive at first glance, but if it carries a strong doubled die or a dramatic off-center strike, its value can increase significantly. This challenges the common assumption that only perfect coins are valuable. In reality, rarity and uniqueness often outweigh condition, especially when a coin tells a compelling story through its imperfections. Surface preservation plays a critical role in determining value. Natural toning, which develops over decades, can enhance a coin's appearance and authenticity, while improper cleaning can permanently damage its surface and reduce its desirability. Collectors and grading services carefully examine factors such as luster, color, and wear patterns to assess originality. Professional grading has become an essential part of the market, providing standardized evaluations that help buyers and sellers understand a coin's true standing. A 1932 wheat penny graded in fine condition may be worth only a modest amount, while one in extremely fine or about uncirculated condition can command significantly higher prices, especially if it features a recognized variety. Market values for the 1932 no-mint mark wheat penny vary widely depending on condition and specific characteristics. In lower circulated grades such as fine or very fine, these coins typically trade for a few cents to a few dollars. As the condition improves to extremely fine or about uncirculated, values can rise into the tens or even low hundreds of dollars. Mint state examples with strong eye appeal and original surfaces can reach several $100s, and coins with notable errors or varieties can exceed that range, particularly when certified by major grading services. While there are no widely publicized record-breaking auction results for this specific date compared to more famous rarities, standout examples with exceptional quality or unique features have achieved impressive prices due to collector competition. At the highest level of the hobby, registry set competition plays a powerful role in driving prices. Collectors building top-ranked sets often seek the finest known examples of each date, and even a slight improvement in grade or quality can lead to intense bidding. This demand pushes certain coins far beyond their typical market value, especially when provenance or exceptional eye appeal is involved. In this environment, a seemingly ordinary 1932 wheat penny can become a key piece in a competitive collection, valued not just for its rarity, but for its position within a complete set. The 1932 wheat penny, without a mint mark, is a reminder that value in coin collecting is not always obvious at first glance. What once circulated as a simple 1-cent coin during one of America's hardest economic periods can, under the right circumstances, become a highly desirable collectible. Through a combination of historical context, survival rate, minting anomalies, and collector demand, this small copper coin has earned its place in the world of numismatics, proving that even the most overlooked pieces can hold extraordinary potential. And fourthly, the most valuable and expensive United States ultra-rare wheat penny from 1940 without a mint mark is not the shining, flawless coin most collectors imagine, but a deeply worn, scratched, and weathered survivor that at first glance looks completely worthless. This specific 1940 Lincoln wheat penny, struck in Philadelphia and lacking a mint mark, has stunned collectors by reaching extraordinary value levels when its story, rarity, and unusual characteristics align. What appears to be a damaged piece of copper, dulled by time and marked by decades of circulation, can under the right conditions command prices that rival pristine coins, turning an overlooked pocket relic into a shocking discovery worth thousands, and in rare cases far more. To understand why a 1940 penny like this carries such intrigue, it is essential to step back into the United States during that year. The nation was emerging from the long shadow of the Great Depression, with industry slowly rebuilding and global tensions rising as World War II loomed on the horizon. Copper was still widely available in 1940, but economic caution influenced minting operations. Coins were produced in large numbers to support a recovering economy, yet the heavy circulation they endured meant that most examples quickly wore down, becoming the exact kind of scratched and aged pieces that collectors today often overlook, not realizing they are holding fragments of a pivotal moment in American history. The Philadelphia Mint, which produced the 1940 wheat penny without a mint mark, struck over 586 million coins that year. On paper, this high mintage suggests commonality and low value. However, survival in collectible condition tells a very different story. While millions were made, very few survived decades of use with unusual characteristics, extreme wear patterns, or unique damage profiles that set them apart. The absence of a mint mark simply indicates its origin, but it also places the coin within the largest pool of circulation, increasing the likelihood of heavy wear and creating opportunities for rare anomalies to develop unnoticed. Examining a scratched and aged 1940 wheat penny reveals a surface that tells a story far beyond its face value. The coin may display deep circulation marks, uneven toning that ranges from dark brown to almost black, and areas where the original design has softened or partially faded. Scratches may cut across Lincoln's portrait, while the wheat ears on the reverse might appear flattened or ghost-like. Corrosion spots, environmental damage, and even minor bends or edge nicks contribute to a raw, almost rugged appearance. Rather than diminishing its appeal, this level of wear transforms the coin into a tangible artifact of daily life during the 1940s, carrying the marks of countless transactions and decades of survival. Among modern collectors, there is a growing fascination with coins that break the traditional rules of beauty. A heavily worn 1940 wheat penny can attract attention precisely because it looks imperfect. Collectors are increasingly drawn to pieces that tell a story, coins that feel authentic and untouched by preservation or polishing. The idea that such a coin survived years of economic change, wartime circulation, and eventual neglect adds a layer of emotional value. These coins are not just collected for their design, but for their journey, and that journey can elevate even the most damaged example into something highly desirable within niche collecting circles. Beyond visible wear, many 1940 pennies exhibit subtle but important anomalies. Dye deterioration, for instance, can create a slightly blurred or distorted appearance in the lettering and date. Lamination flaws may appear as peeling or split metal surfaces, while struck through errors, caused by debris interfering during the minting process, can leave unusual impressions embedded in the coin. Over time, chemical reactions with the environment can alter the copper's surface, producing textures and colors that are impossible to replicate. In certain cases, these imperfections combine to form a coin that is truly one of a kind, making it far more valuable than a standard example. The behavior of the auction market has further amplified the value of such unusual coins. In recent years, online platforms and collector communities have brought attention to pieces that would have once been dismissed. A visually striking, heavily worn 1940 wheat penny can gain momentum through shared images, discussions, and collector interest. When such a coin enters a specialty auction, bidders are not just competing for a coin, but for its uniqueness and the story attached to it. This emotional and competitive environment can drive prices far beyond traditional expectations, especially when multiple collectors recognize the same rare traits. There have been instances where coins with heavy damage and unusual characteristics have exceeded all predictions. A 1940 wheat penny with extreme wear, combined with a rare minting anomaly or dramatic environmental toning, could theoretically achieve a price that shocks even seasoned collectors. While typical circulated examples may be worth only a few cents to a few dollars, a truly unique piece with strong visual impact and documented interest could climb into the thousands. Under exceptional circumstances, where rarity, storytelling, and bidding competition align perfectly, the value could escalate into 5 figures or beyond, creating a moment that redefines expectations. Imagine a scenario where a collector discovers a heavily scratched 1940 penny in an old jar, initially dismissing it as worthless. Upon closer inspection, subtle anomalies begin to emerge: unusual surface textures, faint doubling in the date, and a pattern of toning unlike anything commonly seen. As the coin gains attention, it enters a specialized auction where collectors recognize its uniqueness. Bidding intensifies, driven by the desire to own something truly irreplaceable. In that moment, the coin's value is no longer tied to its condition, but to its individuality, and the final price reflects that transformation. For those willing to look beyond surface damage, the 1940 wheat penny without a mint mark stands as a reminder that hidden value often lives in plain sight. Coins like this continue to surface in the most ordinary places: old drawers, forgotten jars, and inherited collections, still carrying the scars of decades in circulation. What sets them apart is not perfection, but the rare combination of age, survival, and distinctive character that cannot be manufactured or duplicated. A deeply scratched and worn example may quietly hold features that only reveal themselves under careful examination, rewarding patience with discovery. In a market where uniqueness drives attention, even a coin dismissed as damaged can become the centerpiece of a collection, proving that the true worth of a wheat penny is not defined by how it looks at first glance, but by the story it has endured and the rarity it may still conceal. In many ways, the 1940 wheat penny without a mint mark represents the unpredictable nature of coin collecting, where value is not fixed but constantly evolving. A coin that once passed unnoticed through countless hands can suddenly gain recognition when its unusual traits are finally understood. Subtle details such as uneven wear patterns, abnormal coloration, or faint structural irregularities can transform what appears to be a common piece into something far more significant. Collectors who specialize in these overlooked examples often see potential where others see damage, recognizing that time itself has reshaped the coin into a unique artifact. This shifting perspective continues to redefine how value is measured, proving that even the most worn and scratched 1940 penny can hold a level of importance and desirability that goes far beyond its original purpose. This is what makes the 1940 wheat penny without a mint mark so compelling. It challenges the assumption that only perfect coins hold value, revealing instead that history, survival, and uniqueness often matter more. Every scratch, every mark, every sign of wear becomes part of a larger narrative that connects the present to the past. For collectors and curious viewers alike, the message is clear: value is not always visible at first glance. Sometimes, the most ordinary-looking coins hide the most extraordinary stories, waiting to be recognized by those willing to look closer. And at the end, we're exploring the 1945 Denver Mint wheat penny stands as a fascinating and highly sought-after piece in American numismatics, captivating enthusiasts with its rich historical significance and the subtle allure of its wartime origins. For collectors, this coin is more than just a small piece of copper. It is a tangible connection to a pivotal moment in the nation's history, struck during the final months of World War II. Its appeal lies in the convergence of its accessible entry point for beginners and the intense, specialized pursuit for those seeking the finest preserved examples. In the current market, demand remains consistently strong, as collectors are drawn to the romance of the era and the challenge of assembling a complete set of Lincoln wheat pennies, with the 1945 D holding its own as a respected and necessary component. This coin's status as a prized treasure is cemented not by outrageous rarity, but by its historical context and the exceptional quality that some surviving specimens exhibit, making it a cornerstone of any serious collection focused on mid-20th century American coinage. The historical context of the 1945 D wheat penny places it at the very end of a world-altering conflict. Minted at the Denver facility, one of the 3 major U.S. mints operating at the time, this coin was produced in immense quantities to fuel a booming wartime economy. By 1945, The tide of World War II had decisively turned in favor of the Allies, with Victory in Europe Day occurring in May and the final surrender of Japan in September of that same year. These pennies would have jingled in the pockets of soldiers returning home, been used by families to buy war bonds, and circulated through a nation transitioning from a wartime footing to a period of unprecedented economic growth. The Lincoln wheat design itself, introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, was a staple of American life. Therefore, the 1945 D penny is not just a coin, it is a miniature artifact from the dawn of the atomic age and the beginning of a new American era, forever linking the humblest denomination to the monumental events of 1945. The unique features of the 1945 D wheat penny are classic and enduring, contributing significantly to its iconic status. The obverse, or head's side, features the dignified profile of Abraham Lincoln, sculpted by Victor David Brenner, a design so masterful it has remained in use for over a century. In high-grade uncirculated conditions, the intricate details of Lincoln's likeness, from the finely etched beard to the subtle folds of his clothing, are rendered with stunning clarity. The reverse, or tails side, displays the quintessential wheat penny design, two distinctive wheat stalks flanking the words 1 cent and United States of America, symbolizing the nation's agricultural prosperity. The coin is composed of a bronze alloy, consisting of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it a warm, rich color that deepens with age. The small D mint mark, located just below the date on the obverse, is a crucial identifier, signaling its origin at the Denver Mint. When found in pristine mint state condition, the coin's original red color can be breathtaking, transforming this piece of everyday commerce into a work of art with brilliant luster and sharp, untouched surfaces. Rarity and condition are inextricably linked when discussing the value and desirability of the 1945 D wheat penny. While the mintage was substantial, with over 226 million pieces struck, the concept of rarity for this coin is defined by survival in pristine, uncirculated condition. Decades of heavy use in commerce meant that the vast majority of these pennies were worn down, losing their intricate details and original mint luster. Therefore, finding a 1945 D penny that has survived in mint state, particularly with its original red color intact, is a significant challenge. The scarcity is amplified when seeking high grades, such as MS 66 or higher, where the coin displays full, original mint luster, sharp strikes, and absolutely no marks or abrasions visible to the naked eye. This dramatic difference between the common, well-worn circulated coin and the exceptionally rare, pristine example is the primary driver of collector demand. The pursuit of the perfect gem-quality 1945 D penny is a quest for a piece of history that has defied the odds, making these high-grade specimens the true treasures of the series. The market value of a 1945 D wheat penny in excellent condition can range significantly, from around $1,000 to over $8,000, depending entirely on its grade and visual appeal. A typical circulated example, one that has been used in commerce, holds little premium and can be acquired for a modest sum, reflecting its commonality. However, the value escalates dramatically as the condition improves. A coin graded MS 65 red, meaning it is in uncirculated condition with full, original red color and exceptional eye appeal, can easily command a price in the lower to mid-hundreds of dollars. The true leap into the four-figure range occurs at the highest levels of preservation, such as MS 66 plus red or MS 67 red. At these elite levels, the coin is virtually flawless, with blazing luster and perfect surfaces. Auction records for the finest known 1945 D pennies have exceeded $8,000, driven by the extreme rarity of such a well-preserved piece from a year of high production. This steady appreciation in value for top-tier examples underscores the principle that for common-date coins, condition is the ultimate arbiter of worth, with historical significance and visual perfection combining to create a highly desirable and valuable collectible. For collectors aspiring to add a high-quality 1945 D wheat penny to their holdings, a strategic approach is essential. The foremost piece of advice is to prioritize certified coins, those that have been professionally graded and encapsulated by reputable services like the Professional Coin Grading Service or Numismatic Guarantee Company. This certification provides an objective assessment of the coin's condition and authenticity, which is crucial for such a condition-sensitive investment. When inspecting potential purchases, pay close attention to the quality of the strike, and most importantly, the preservation of the original mint color, with red designations being the most desirable. Purchasing from established and reputable dealers or participating in major auctions with robust return policies is the safest route to acquiring a genuine, high-grade specimen. Once acquired, proper storage is paramount. The coin should remain in its protective holder, stored in a cool, dry, and stable environment, and handled only by the edges to prevent the transfer of oils and dirt from fingers. Engaging with the numismatic community through online forums, local coin clubs, and major coin shows can provide invaluable insights into market trends and help in identifying the best opportunities. Beyond its individual merits as a historical artifact and a condition rarity, the 1945 D-Wheat penny holds a special place in the broader tapestry of Lincoln cent collecting, serving as a critical and satisfying component for those pursuing a complete set by date and mint mark. The challenge of assembling a full run of Lincoln wheat cents from 1909 through 1958 is a beloved and time-honored pursuit in numismatics, and the 1945 D represents a fascinating midpoint in that journey. It is not a key date like the elusive 1909 SVB or the 1914 D, whose value is driven by outright low mintage and immediate scarcity. Instead, the 1945 D offers a different kind of satisfaction: the thrill of the hunt for superior quality. For the dedicated collector, finding a 1945 D that transcends the ordinary, one with blazing original mint luster and sharp, unabraded details, is a small victory in itself. It elevates a simple album or holder from a mere collection of coins to a curated exhibition of numismatic preservation. In this context, the 1945 D-Wheat penny acts as a great equalizer, a coin that was produced in vast numbers and yet, in its finest state, can stand proudly alongside even the great rarities of the series. The 1945 D-Wheat penny is a captivating blend of American history, classic artistry, and numismatic rarity, solidifying its status as a prized collectible and a compelling investment. It offers a tangible link to the final days of World War II, a period that reshaped the world, all encapsulated in a beautifully designed piece of copper. Its significance is not born of extreme scarcity in its raw numbers, but from the immense challenge of finding one that has survived the ravages of time in a state of pristine perfection. For collectors, the pursuit of a gem quality, red 1945, D penny is a rewarding journey into the heart of American numismatics. It represents a smart, stable investment, as the value of high-grade condition rarities from popular series like the Lincoln wheat cent has historically shown consistent, long-term appreciation. This coin is more than just a piece of metal. It is a small, shining fragment of the American story, waiting to be cherished by its next caretaker. It is a testament to the enduring appeal of numismatics, where history, art, and value converge in the palm of your hand, making it an endlessly fascinating and rewarding addition to any collection, from the budding enthusiast to the most seasoned curator.